Today I beat the world record speedrun for Temple Run, and the journey to do so was actually pretty cool, though it cost me way too much money. See, Temple Run is an endless runner game, which means there's no official endpoint. So instead, the main speedrun category for the game is getting to 10,000 meters. Now normally you move pretty slow in the game, but we have two ways to speed ourselves up. There's the Mega Boost, which gives you a 2,500 meter head start at the beginning of a run, and boost power-ups that show up every once in a while, which if we fully upgrade them, they can boost us forward 750 meters. While using either of these boosts, we don't need to control our character at all, and can just let the game play itself. But even if we get lucky and get a ton of boosts, like in this run where I got 4, it's hard to even break the 3-minute barrier. But thankfully for speedrunners, this game has some really cool tech. See, how these boosts work is you gain speed over a few seconds, run at top speed for a while, and then gradually slow back down to base speed before you lose your invincibility. But Kraken Arises, one of the best speedrunners in this game, found a technique where if during the speed boost you constantly jump or slide until your invincibility ends, you can prevent the game from slowing you down and then keep all that speed from the boost, meaning your character will continue moving more quickly than normal. Now this is a giant discovery because theoretically, you could use a mega boost right at the start of the run and then make it all the way to 10,000 meters at top speed. But that's most likely impossible for a human, because Temple Run wasn't designed for you to be running at this speed, especially at the start of a run, so even if your mind can keep up with the increased game speed, you're probably going to die eventually to some unlucky terrain, since the game assumes you're running much slower and would have more time to react. Thankfully though, another power-up can help us fix this problem. This is the invincibility power-up, which makes you immune to every obstacle, but unlike a boost, it won't auto-turn for you. But Kraken Arises found another technique where if you get an invisibility power-up before your boost runs out, the game will still think you're in the boost and will continue to auto-turn for you. The only drawback for this is the longer you're in this state, the more speed you'll slowly lose. Since while spamming your slide or jump can stop you from losing most of your speed, it can't completely stop it. And because of this fact, it's only really worth it to extend your boost with 2 invisibilities if you're lucky enough to actually get that amount. And so the most optimal combo to get for this speedrun is an invisibility around 2,500 meters before your boost runs out, followed by another around 4,500 to 5,500 meters before your first invisibility runs out. Those together take us to around 7,000 meters for free. And if you can then get 2 boost power-ups fairly quickly after that, this would be an almost perfect run. But the luck required to get this run is insane and would require you to spend a lot of money. See, we can upgrade our boost and invisibility power-ups pretty easily since they're one-time purchases, but every mega boost costs 10,000 coins, so you're not getting many of those through natural gameplay. This means the only real way to grind the speedrun, other than hacking the game for unlimited coins, is to spend money. Now 200,000 coins is $20, meaning we can get 1 run per dollar spent on the game, and I decided to see just how much money it would cost to get a perfect run. I was not prepared for the answer. I started out with putting $60 in, already way too much money to be spending on Temple Run, but YouTube is my job and I thought surely it wouldn't take more than that, so I justified the purchase. And after, I bought the upgrades for the invisibility and boost power-ups, along with a few resurrection wings which we can use for another strategy I'll explain later, before then having enough coins to buy 56 mega boosts, which I thought would be more than enough to get this world record. And to really test this, after each run died, I wrote down how many power-ups I got to see how likely it really is to get a good run. Reminder that optimally, we want 2 invisibilities before our boost runs out, and then 2 boost power-ups to finish out the 10,000 meters. But the results I found were honestly shocking, because out of my 56 mega boosts, 42 of my attempts didn't give me my starting invisibility and were an immediate restart. Then 13 only gave me 1 invisibility, and a single run got me 2 invisibilities, which I then messed up by missing the second power-up, since I wasn't prepared to actually get good luck for once. This honestly shocked me because I didn't think that these odds would be anywhere close to this bad, so I reluctantly put in another $60, bought 60 more mega boosts, and the odds were even worse this time. 50 runs with no power-ups, 9 with 1 power-up, and yet again, only 1 with 2. And this time during our single good run, the game also decided to taunt me by showing me a boost in the corner of the screen and taking me the other way since you can't control your character during a boost. This killed me mentally. At this point, I was over $100 into this video, so I decided to stop spending money and instead got 800 more boosts through grinding, we'll say. And I am very thankful that I did that, because after this, I spent hours doing run after run and got these stats: 313 runs with no power-ups, 77 with 1, 11 with 2, in just 2 runs, which gave me the 3 power-ups in a row that I was looking for. But we never got the 4th, and that would have legitimately been another $400 down the drain with nothing to show for it if I spent more money, and I was going through it at this point. By the way, I don't blame the game at all for this. Temple Run is definitely better than a lot of other mobile games when it comes to microtransactions, and this game definitely wasn't made for speedrunning, but that still didn't really help my mental. At least here's where I finally had an epiphany and things started turning around. See, throughout this entire grind, I was only going for the perfect run. If I didn't get all 4 of the optimal power-ups in a row, it was a reset, and this was incredibly mentally draining. But here's when I realized this way of playing was just kind of dumb. Even the world record I was trying to beat didn't get the perfect run. They missed a boost and also had a death before getting revived by the resurrection wings, so there was plenty of potential time save. And because of that, here's where I switched my strategy from trying to play perfect to trying to play everything. This means that even if I didn't get an invisibility before my first boost ended, I would still try my best to keep playing for as long as possible. Sometimes that would gift me with another boost, and sometimes I would die shortly after, but either way, it increased my skill level at the game immensely. And really quickly, I realized just how much my old way of playing was limiting myself, because a little bit after making this mindset change, I got a 3rd place run that was a bit over 2 minutes long, and 15 minutes after that, I got my first sub 2 minute. I also stopped counting my attempts during this time because I realized how discouraging that was to constantly worry about, and this change made the grind so much more fun. And then just a little while longer, we got this run. You'll see it starts out like any other run. We're going to use the mega boost right at the beginning. And one thing I also like doing, by the way, that I haven't mentioned yet is go for coins. I mean, we don't really need them, but what else are you going to do during this mega boost? But pretty much every single time, once we get to around 1,500 meters, that's when I start spamming jump or spamming slide, just depending on what I'm feeling. And you'll see we do get the first invisibility right away. Another thing you'll see me doing is I like sliding more than I like jumping for the most part, but it also does change your camera angle anytime you slide under something, so we will want to jump after that. Hopefully we don't lose too much speed, but you are starting to see the speed slow down just a little bit. Now we are going much faster than base speed, so we don't have to worry about that, but we are at 5,000, and here's where I'm like, okay, I need an invisibility, or I just need to play well, but this time I got the second invisibility, so we are completely good to go. Now I'm pretty confident I have the skill at this point to go even if we didn't get this invisibility, but it is a nice thing. This means that this could definitely be the run, and there's a much better chance because you're seeing we're getting to 7,000, and then on top of that, we get a boost, which is absolutely insane. So now at this point, this run is amazing, and I'm going to use my resurrection wings here, which these are nice because basically if you die, it will revive you, and not only that, it also gives you another boost. So what I'm going to try to do is just play well. You see me actually playing insane. I almost got the perfect run there if I was able to just make it a little bit farther. Unfortunately, we did die, but that is not going to matter because we're still able to make it over to 10,000 meters in a time of 1:33, and that's going to be world record. All right, subscribe if you enjoyed. Bye.